So we need to have a couple of hip hop discussions. We need to address some things in hip hop, a few things, because I feel like as a hip hop fan, I don't know where we went wrong, but here we are, and we need to just discuss a few things that I just feel are weird. This is the first thing. So I'm gonna give y'all context by showing you guys the clip of Mos Def talking about Drake.
Like, is Drake hip hop?
He knew right before he answered it how this was gonna come on.
Drake is pop to me, in the sense like if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song, it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping.
Commercial music.
Or it's
Commercial music,
shopping with an edge in certain instances.
It's shopping with an edge.
Fair. I like Drake's music, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
Of course, I mean,
It's
I get
commercial, entertaining, fun, good,
it's
formulaic music.
It's likable.
Likeable music, yeah.
I like what she said. It's formulaic.
Absolutely.
But is it?
Certain amount of
I'm
808.
gonna leave you alone. We're gonna move.
A feature with an artist featured in the top 25 somewhere.
So
light-skinned stripper
many
today for a
products.
music video.
So many SKUs.
So many SKUs. Look at all these SKUs. Oh, so many products.
So much merchandising. So
Oh,
many barcodes.
I love this mall. Look at this place.
I love this mall. It's nuts.
I mean, look at this place. They have everything.
got
Everything's
everything.
here. They have
That's my
everything
favorite
here.
part right there. They
It's
have
great.
everything.
It's a new Drake. You
But
hear it?
pause
It's
real quick.
great.
I got you.
You know why that's my favorite part of him saying it? They have everything. Because that's what Drake is. He's everything. He's the gangster, he's the father, but he's also the baby daddy. Right?
He's the lover boy.
He's a toxic lover. Yeah, toxic lover boy. He's the crybaby, but he's also the bully, right? Gotta be the bully. You know he got a Drake in his bitch, and he ain't talking about him. Like, he's the athlete, he's the smart guy, he's the poet. He's every man. They got everything in this bitch. That's what I felt like he was talking about. Maybe not. Maybe I'm reaching. That's how I've always felt about Drake. And that's what I felt like he was saying in there. Like, man, this store has everything. You are every man.
Facts. All right, let me finish the video.
White,
It's
black, just
everything. Everything. Jewish, black. You got everything.
Jewish, black.
No, it's important that I finish the clip though, because he says something at the end that I wanna brush on.
Okay. What happens when this thing collapses? What happens when the columns start buckling? Are we not in some early stage of that at this present hour? Are we seeing like the collapse of the empire? Buying and selling, where's the message that I can use?
Right.
You know, what's in it for your audience apart from like banging the pom-poms?
All right. So my first question and my first initial reaction to it is, why do we care if Drake is pop? It seems to me that Drake does everything he possibly can to be pop, right? He compares himself to Michael Jackson and the Beatles, right? Every time somebody asks, what's so great about Drake, they immediately run to sales. It seems to me that he wants to be pop, right? So what's the problem when somebody calls him out for wanting to be pop? What is the problem there? I don't understand why people have this knee-jerk reaction to be like, well, no, Drake's hip-hop. Well, if he was hip-hop, I think he'd come out with a hip-hop album for one. But even on top of that, it seems to me that he wants to be this guy. He wants to be that artist. So that's my first question is, why do we even care if Drake is pop?
Well, first of all, I don't. But I think his fans care because of the mall theory, right? Like, you can't take one of those things away and have him still be Drake. That's the, I guess, the burden of being the everyman. The everyman is every man. If you take one of those things away, then he's just a human. He's a normal person, and you gotta start treating him as such. But if Drake remains this godlike figure who's above reproach, and he's allowed to be the ladies' man, the lover, but also the fuckboy when he wants to be. He can cry wolf on Rap Beast, but also be a bully on Rap Beast whenever he feels fit. He can talk about women without impunity. He can talk about their partners, but if anybody mentions his child or his baby mama, we going above and beyond what we supposed to be talking about. Or if we talk about your friend, your sick friend, then we gotta leave that alone too. Even though he was the one pillow talking on you and told everybody about your kid in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like it's there's a lot of contradictions that have to be dealt with if you start peeling back the layers of Drake, right? And rather than dealing with any of that and actually being like Kanye fans have been forced to be like, right? Maybe it'll happen for them. Maybe Drake fans will be what we are today with Kanye. We've been forced to realize what that nigga really is. We can't really hide it anymore at this point. It's been laid bare to the public. Drake is slowly but surely trying to show y'all who he is. I mean, not that he didn't come into the game already telling y'all who he was with the blackface and whatnot, but he is slowly but surely showing y'all who he is. You know what I'm saying? So I think that eventually it will have to end up where we're at with Kanye because the music won't be as strong. The music already isn't as strong.
Yeah.
And the farther left the product goes, the more he'll have to do to keep his name hype. And you've already seen that over the last couple of years.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's what he's talking about. It's like we already see the columns kind of cracking as it is. Y'all want him to be y'all's GOAT. We don't know if he's gonna last that long.
Yeah.
Truth be told.
Yeah.
So, I think that's where most people are at with it.
When I first saw the Mos Def video, that was my initial knee-jerk reaction as well, because I think everybody saw it and thought, oh, he's calling Drake not hip-hop. And so that was immediately what I thought. Late last night, I came across Rob Markman, who, if you're not aware, is somebody who interviews people. He's a hip-hop journalist, and his opinion should also be well-respected in the hip-hop community, if you're not aware who he is. I say that to say he made a point for me to really listen to the latter part of that video, which you've also said as well.
Shout out to Rachel Almondi. The Cutting Room Floor podcast recently did an interview with Yassine Bey. There's a viral clip that has people discussing Yassine, formerly known as Mos Def, versus Drake. Rachel asked him, is Drake hip-hop? Yassine responded that Drake is pop and likened his music to be compatible with shopping in Target, or as I took it, what he meant, is very aligned with consumerism. And so everybody's debating back and forth. You know how it goes on the internet. But I think we're missing the most important part of this clip, because Yassine asked, what are you going to do when this thing collapses? By this thing, I'm assuming he meant hip-hop, right? When, it feels like now more than ever, the business of hip-hop and the artistic, communal side of hip-hop seems to be at odds. Hip-hop has been a business since Sugar Hill Gang, since putting out records, right, trying to sell records. It's no doubt been a business since almost the beginning, the commercial beginning of the culture. But, it feels like now, like, the money's starting to dwindle. I think a lot of people going to exit stage left. The art is always going to be the art. The community is always going to be the community. But there's going to be a lot less of us doing it for the reasons of we love it, we want to express ourselves, and we care about our community, and we make a few dollars where we can.
And I think in that, I want to make this point before I get to William Moloch. I think in that perfectly describes why I believe Drake is not hip-hop or a part of the true hip-hop culture. Because when this thing does collapse, for example, do we feel like Drake is going to continue to be here? Or do we think Drake is going to get into acting or do something different? Right? We already see some of the...
When the money's no longer in hip-hop, what he said.
He's going to dip. Whereas Cole and Kendrick are going to continue putting out hip-hop albums, and they're not going to worry so much about the sales part of it. They're going to keep it hip-hop.
So, you know what you can compare this to? The Rock. The Rock and wrestling. The Rock was on top of the game. The Rock was the best wrestler at one point in his career. He was the best guy on the ticket. He was headliner. The Rock eventually shifted over to movies in Hollywood, right? And that's where he stuck.
Mm-hmm.
He's made some stints back at the WWE. And most recently this year, he's back on SmackDown. Is The Rock still not considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time? Even though if you look at The Rock right now, his official title is not a wrestler. I mean, I guess technically right now while he's on the show it is, but in recent years, he's not a wrestler by trade anymore. He's an actor.
Yeah.
So I guess now at this point, would it really do that much to change his legacy as a quote unquote rapper if he were to get out of the game now when it's at one of its least popular moments, I would say.
I don't think so. I think we've seen other artists go into different fields like LL Cool J or Ice-T. I think we've seen people completely stop doing it and then, they go into a different field. I think nobody is going to deny the fact that LL Cool J or Ice-T or Ice Cube are still hip hop. They still come back from time to time and do.
I don't think any of those guys were ever trying to be the best of all time, right? And Drake has waved that flag too many times to back off of it. So that's the only thing I feel like, not so much of him in his competitive spirit would make him do it, but just so much of his reputation is staked off of being the best. And so if he takes a complete bow out, and concedes it all together, I think that does more of a reputational hit in, putting out subpar projects that only some of the people want to listen to, and even the people who want to listen to it a month, and then they listen to the next new hotness that's on Apple Music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
There's not really much staying power in hip hop these days as it is, and I think that's even more reflective in some of the biggest names in hip hop right now because nothing is really popping, man. Nothing is sticking. There hasn't been a oh shit album in like, oh man,
a good minute.
When did King's Disease 2 come out?
2? That was 2021.
I mean, and even that was still a old folks album. Like an everybody, like a pause, a wait, everybody, hold the moment right now. Shit, it's been a minute, man. Like Astro World, maybe. And that is definitely a pop album. Like for sure, a pop album.
No, absolutely. He is a pop artist. I think he's a pop artist too.
Who was that?
I think Travis is low key a pop artist too, but that's.
Yeah, but see, I don't think Travis would fight it like Drake does.
I agree with that. Once you start doing McDonald's, combo meals, you sell. That's what you do.
Well, it's hard to call yourself a seasoned rapper when you're a rager. You know what I mean? I have to engage the whites there on that.
Gray says it's Damn, Kendrick Lamar.
Damn. Okay. Good one. Damn was probably the last like pause moment for an album, for a rap album. I'll say for sure.
It's great that he mentioned that because I'm going to probably bring that up as well here in a few moments.
The Rock remained great, so did Batista. That's what I was kind of saying. Like, he's not going to lose it at this point, but I think Drake honestly would do better to put more space in between his projects right now because what he is putting out is very much cookie cutter. It is built to stream. It's built to be replayed on TikTok. It's built to be played as you walking into the club. Music to fit social media platforms. That's uncharted territory. Even for some of the guys that we previously thought were great, or previous acts that we thought were great. Because look what they are doing for attention. Nicki, Drake, Wayne is on goddamn Undisputed every other week. Look what they doing for attention. You was lucky if you can get Wayne on First Take once or twice a season when Skip was on ESPN. He's there every week now. Like, he ain't got shit to do. Nicki Minaj is streaming with Kai Cenat. She's streaming with Kai Cenat, trying to promote her album. And I'm so glad that Funny Marco got that interview with her. Because I'm glad people are starting to go back to him instead of off. I'm glad she's no longer a thing. Or at least not on my algorithm, she's not.
Same.
But like, it's just like I'm looking at Nicki in year, what is this, 15 of her career?
No, I think it's long.
Maybe
Is it
even
longer?
More?
No, it's about
we're
15.
approaching 20 years. We're approaching 2 decades, and you're doing interviews for your new album with young up and coming comedians. Which, hey, good on you to do that. I just know that shit wasn't not the good into your heart. I know you needed the people with the most eyeballs to help you push your product, which is crazy because I would think a person who's at that stage in her career would have the outlets flocking to her. Where's Rolling Stone? Where's ABC? Where's Sony? Where's Universal? Where's all these people with publications that want to come and talk to you about your music?
No,
Where
thank
they
you.
at?
I don't want to
And
do
those
it.
are the chill sites. Rolling Stone, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, ET, E News. Nobody wants parts of your album. You on Twitch? You can't even grab the cable eyeballs no more. You on Twitch?
Shout out Twitch.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
How the
no,
greats have fallen.
it's crazy. And you know what's crazy as well is I don't see this kind of downfall from the greats we looked up to, at least. Like, you don't see this same kind of downfall from Hove but it's a different
I
time.
don't think you would ever catch Hove or Nas on with a YouTuber, right?
Or even a
and
Wayne.
as much as I'd love to be that YouTuber, I just don't think you would ever do it.
Yeah.
You would never catch them sitting down with Funny Marco. As much as we would love to see a Funny Marco interview with Jay-Z or Kanye, Kanye probably would do it. Kanye might do it. You
Maybe.
give Marco another couple years, because he's went on Joe Rogan, he's went on other platforms. Kanye might do it. Jay-Z probably is never going to do Funny Marco.
No.
My man wouldn't even give 2 Chainz a verse.
Yeah. That's a fact.
I don't remember seeing Stevie Wonder sitting down with Weird Al Yankovic before any of his album releases. I didn't hear Michael Jackson going to kick it with I don't know, Red Fox. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Red Fox is nuts. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I do think the internet plays some part in that, but no, I see what you're saying though, for sure. I just want to point out, Marte said, I think it comes down to super hip hop heads think of Drake as corny, so they find ways to take him out of hip hop. At some level, I agree with that, but I think it's equally as weird when everybody comes to Drake's defense like they're the Beehive and they can't criticize. Nobody can criticize him. They come to fight for him at the very smallest criticism. I think that's annoying as shit, but that's just me. I tweeted enough about that.
There are those, those rap artists, those rap purists that don't want to give Drake his flowers, and like you can't take the talent away from Drake.
Sure.
That's the part of it that you can't take away, and that's also the part that makes it so frustrating to view him as an artist because he's so worried about the reputation side of it that sometimes he leans too hard into the show of it all instead of like the meat and potatoes, the actual work, the bars. You know what I mean? Like the actual rapping part. It was always so much more about the persona and the image than it was about the music, I felt like, with Drake.
Moving on. So another thing in hip hop that I'm starting to see a lot of is, and we talked about this actually a couple times, but it's coming to like this real disrespectful point, is discussing the dead in this real weird disrespectful way. So first of all, Gilly the Kid had to address that his son was an Illuminati sacrifice. Come on, fam. Like, why do we do this? Why do we get to this point? And again, I feel like that's extremely disrespectful to talk about somebody losing their son in this way. You know what I mean? So I just, that stuck out to me. And then Yo Gotti just lost his brother. And there are a shit ton of people on Twitter who are like posting Dolph lyrics to be like, oh yeah, your brother dead, whatever. It's Dolph.
Yeah. So I'll take this in 2 parts. Let's start with the first story with
Gilly.
why do I lose people's names that quickly?
No, it's all good.
That was part of the another issue that I kind of took with what Cat Williams was asserting. It's just like when the truth tellers, right, the people who are pulling the veil back and telling you about Hollywood, the one thing that they always neglect to do, and I'll be waiting to hear it. The one thing I always want to hear is, okay, who's real? Who's real? Besides you, I know you trying to tell us that you real, but who else is real besides you? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't tell me you the only real nigga in Hollywood. Who else is real? Is Denzel? Did Denzel sacrifice somebody too? You know what I'm saying? Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier. Did they sacrifice somebody too? Let me know who real and who ain't. They always have so much to say about all the people who did something dirty to get ahead, right? Who didn't? Because the mindset you're creating now, which is beneficial to the power structure that's in place currently that makes you do that shit in the first place, is that every black person that you see that raises to prominence sucked the dick or got their dick sucked.
Or had somebody killed in their family.
Or had somebody killed in their family by the Illuminati. Sacrifice or oral sex. It's the only way to make it in Hollywood if you're black. Apparently. According to Cat Williams and, you know, the Illuminati pushers. And don't get me to be the guy who's downplaying any talks of secret societies and stuff like that. I'm not telling you it didn't happen. What I'm telling you is you would do better by pointing out the people that I can follow and trust, as opposed to just telling me, whenever you see somebody pop up, Jonathan Majors was too ugly to be in Hollywood. He was obviously a plant. Like, come on, man. What kind of that is the most anti-black sentiment I've heard.
Oh, for sure.
In a minute. And it just got snuck in there in the middle of all the rest of that mess. Jonathan Majors is too ugly to be a Hollywood leading man, so he must be a plant. Now I've seen Jonathan Majors with Weinstein. Not Jonathan Majors gave up the booty or took the booty, but he's obviously a plant because he's ugly. so there's no way in hell he could be a leading man. And again, it was just one of those things that people just kind of let roll over their shoulders. I was like, are y'all listening to the same thing I'm listening to? I'm
guilty of that. I glanced over the Jonathan Majors thing. I really did.
He was like, man, that nigga got a wide nose and a big forehead. He was like my daddy. That's cute. I'm like, damn, so your daddy ugly too?
That's crazy.
And being anti-black with his father. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm mad that he had to come out and address that. Plus, his son died after he got the bar stool check. Like, with all the other sacrifices, you usually got to sacrifice and then get your payday. So I don't know how that one worked out. Maybe it happened retroactively. Anyways,
who knows?
The reason why I feel a little bit differently about this one is because while I'm not cheering on anybody's demise, and obviously the man had family who's going to have to mourn him now and deal with this loss, but there is talk about Judd potentially being involved with an individual who they like for the murder of Dolph.
Sure. Yep.
Right? Allegedly. He also wasn't very gracious in the aftermath of Dolph's death, if you follow him on any type of social media, or if you were following this situation. He wasn't very gracious about it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he had anything to do with it or not, that's unproven. I can't say. But he just wasn't very respectful to the dead.
I'll agree with that as well.
And so I think in those instances where you're going to go that far to disrespect somebody that you'll reach to the afterlife, I just believe actions like that invite trouble.
Sure.
And when you live like that, when you do things like that, when you have such a lack of empathy for people in those times, those chickens come home to roost, man. And it's not on me to say when somebody's supposed to leave this earth. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying to you. I'm not justifying anybody's death, good guy or bad guy. What I'm saying to you is that when you breathe negativity or evil into the world, it becomes harder for people to get upset when you receive it back, or
That's
feel for you, or feel the empathy back for you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely feel for Gotti, his family, all of the civilians that's wrapped up into this that have to deal with all of this violence. But if there's a moral to be learned from this, I do think it is to just let the dead lie. let him lie.
I agree, and I think
There's nothing to be gained from poking and prodding enemies in a time of mourning.
I agree. And I think my only point from this situation specifically, my only point came from the fact that, if Key Glock, for example, came onto an Instagram live and started, what I'm saying, making fun or doing whatever, I would feel differently about that than people who are not directly involved with the situation at all and who just are fans and have probably never even met Dolph or Gotti to be making fun of this death. I think there's something weird and wrong about that specifically, right?
Yeah.
Key Glock
Yeah,
or
for sure.
anybody
Yeah, yeah.
in Dolph's
Individual
family is
people have
different.
no connection to it.
Yeah. I think that's different than, like I said, if Key Glock or his family got on and did something. That'd be completely different than Joe Schmo down the street tweeting Dolph lyrics happy about the fact that this guy got killed. You know what I mean? I think those are two completely different things. That brings me to religion. We got to talk about Lil Nas X on two accounts here. First of all, he's attacking religion yet again for likes and clicks, which obviously Kai Cenat has come out and said some things, which I don't know about the messenger in that case, but he's obviously said some things that made me feel like, yeah, why is it okay to just be attacking somebody's religion, especially when it's just for clout and views? I don't understand that, first of all. But then this headline came across where I finally listened to the song J Christ. It sounds a lot like Humble by Kendrick Lamar. Just the beat and the vibe of it sounds a lot like Humble if you ever get a chance to listen to it. And that made me think about biting.
I listened to Dude's first EP. Like after Country Road came out.
I did too. And in fact, you remember me coming on and praising Lil Nas X
and
for
talking about it, right? So Dude has a monicum of musical talent.
Yes.
But it tells me that he doesn't have much, or maybe his representation doesn't have much confidence in that part of him.
Sure.
Because of all it is. Because of all it is, right? All the big stir online about, the imagery on his cover art and his music videos and all the other stuff that he got going on. I've seen a lot of people trying to make comparisons back to Nas and Tupac and K-Dot. First and foremost, I'm not going to be no religious fundamentalist on here. I'm not going to ruffle no feathers in that way. I will say none of those three individuals were blatantly or openly mocking the religion, trying to cause some sort of degradation towards it. You know what I'm saying? Like championing the devil on a strip pole down to the hell so I can suck off the devil. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything as blatant as that. I do think Dude is who I always thought he was. He's a provocateur.
Yeah.
And once again, if that's the way you get in it, you can never let that shit go. You can never come off of that horse. So it's only going to get worse from here. Like, if he gets y'all in a tizzy like this now, it's only going to get worse. Because I don't believe you can do this type of shit and grow musically at the same time. Music comes from actual real pain. It comes from real experience. It comes from love and heartbreak and triumph and failure. That's where real music comes from.
Yep.
All of this shit he doing, I am under the belief it's fake. Whether or not he's gay or not, I don't know. Is he this type of gay? I don't think any human being living is this type of gay.
I agree.
Like, I don't think there's a gay person alive that's this gay. Elton John ain't this gay. Okay? So
yeah.
There is a lot of showmanship that goes on with him, and it does reach a point where he's basically rage baiting people into buying his content. Is he doing that with copying other artists' styles? I think it's a little too subtle at this point to say that that's what's happening. But if this becomes a trend, don't be surprised. If he come out next song and he sound like Moneybag, if he come out the next song and he sound like Schoolboy, fam, it's a play. It's a play. He doesn't have confidence in the music. The music hasn't grown as much as he'd like to, so we need to do something else to spice it up to keep ourselves in the conversation.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at.
And I just think it's weird that coming from his supposed troll background, that it's the LGBT community, at least with the last video. I don't know about this one specifically, but it's them that come to his defense when he does shit like this, because it seems like he's just trolling again. So I don't know. I just think the whole thing is weird, and I'm not even that huge of a fan of the song. Like I said, it sounds a lot like Kendrick's Humble, but
Just like K-Dot.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, other artists do this. When Moneybagg first came on, I thought he sounded just like Dolph. Swear to God, I thought he sounded just like Dolph. So it's not necessarily an unheard of thing where artists somehow start sounding like another artist. It's weird when you had a whole different complete sound, and now all of a sudden you sound like K-Dot. That seems a little bit more targeted. But I'm gonna give him a little bit of space on this one, because if it's a one-off, then it's a one-off, and we'll treat it like that. But I would not be surprised if this became a trend.
Yeah, I agree. So DJ Envious. So I think last time I talked about him, he had to bring forth a couple of documents by January 8th, or he was going to jail. It turns out, it seems like he did go ahead and do that, but it also seems like he's ready to testify against Cesar Pena, which is crazy.
Yeah, he flipped. He got a snitch. It wasn't just bring the papers. It was bring the papers and let's see who's going to go down.
He's got a snitch. He's got a snitch.
He got a snitch, bro.
He got a gunner right
He's
now.
not going to have a problem with doing. Well, you know what? Nah. You know what's funny is that a person like Envy would try to convince you to the cows came home that, hey, look, snitching is for people that's in the streets. Snitching is for people that's in the game. You can't be considered no snitch if you a civilian. And normally, I would agree with him. Except in this situation, you are one of the only people where snitching would directly apply.
Yes.
Because not only did you promote this man's business, you profited from it.
Yes.
So you was involved in the scheme right along with him.
Yep.
And now you gonna turn state witness? Oh, Lord. That is the true definition of a snitch.
Like, you gonna ride out on your Cody? That's crazy.
More work than 6ix9ine. You are actively more of a snitch than 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
Actively.
That is your Cody, dog.
They use 6ix9ine as a prop. He never put no work in a day in his life with Treyway. You, on the other hand, was elbow deep in this scheme.
You're complicit. You were there. You helped.
You were actively promoting this man's business on iHeartRadio. How was iHeartRadio not complicit? How is and no one got smart here and been like, damn, we over here chasing DJ Envy and fucking Cesar Pena. Let's go get iHeartRadio.
Facts.
Because they definitely had Pena up there time and time again, selling that same old self-help shit. Come get your money in. I'll show you about real estate and just bring me $30,000 and I'll get you back $300.
Cap. That's crazy.
I don't know how iHeartRadio is not complicit in this, how they're not being sued.
I couldn't tell you. Also, I think last week I talked about the fact that they have their co-host, which is supposed to be Just Hilarious, but it seems like they don't know.
Yeah, I seen you talking about that. The worst kept secret in the industry.
But it seems like they didn't maybe hire her, and she maybe flew off the handle and said that too soon, because I haven't listened to The Breakfast Club in a minute, but it seems like they were confused about it. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
She's definitely the host. I mean, like, who the hell
No,
else is
I
gonna
agree.
be?
I don't know.
Hey, did you read Marte's comment about being a former angry atheist?
As a former, let me actually get the chat back on here. Oh, you can't see it. Never mind. As a former angry atheist, I think Lil Nas is being a little corny, but watching Easter Sunday Christians get up in arms is still funny. No, that's facts. That's facts. I guess for discussion purposes, I wondered about disrespecting religion. I didn't mean like I'm the most religious person, so damn him.
The men of the cloth. There's so many men of the cloth who also disrespect the scripture and road to lining their own pocket. So it's like there is part of that whataboutism that goes into it. But if we just stick into Lil Nas X, he's doing a lot. He could definitely come off of that shit.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Putting the mark of the beast on any apparel is nuts. It's just a lot. It's a
No.
lot.
But I did not see the Sean C video. I haven't watched Sean C in a minute, actually. Gray said, iHeartRadio is saying, look, my name is Paul. I'm not involved in this DJ Envy bullshit.
No one is named iHeartRadio. Like, I listened to this man on a nationally syndicated radio show. That made me trust him. That made me give him money. How are they not live? You think this man will be able to go on ESPN and say this type of shit and they don't get sued?
No way. No way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way.
Hey, I think y'all going after the wrong parties.
Facts.
I think y'all going after the wrong parties.
That's a
boy.
fact. Okay. My last thing that I want to talk about, again, really quickly. So, off of the popularity of his DJ Vlad interviews, Tony Yayo is teasing the biggest podcast to come on the airwaves. And, normally I look at a celebrity doing a podcast. I'm like, oh, here we go. But I think Tony Yayo has a really big opportunity because I believe that for his first guest, he should have that library guy come on and talk about books and shit.
You have your library card tattooed on you, right? No? Well, you must at least have a library card, yes? Still no? What? You know what? That's okay, because that just means you probably don't know that having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card.
This motherfucker reading books and shit.
That would be
I'm not
hilarious.
for that.
That would be
His
absolutely
first
hilarious.
interview should be with 50. His first interview should be with 50.
50?
Sure.
Man, that's boring
Start
shit,
out by
bro.
breaking the internet. First of all, I don't know why it is such a very, very good demographic to start a podcast with, but retired rapper is almost like a guaranteed hit for us.
Well, in the case of Joe was the first one to strike it big, and then
You got Joe, Cameron, Gilly.
but Cam's is
you got,
good, and it's sports.
See, I mean, yeah, I like Cam, but he gonna have to get some other people on there with some sense. Like him and Mace be clowning too much, and then in the middle of their clowning, they want to have a serious moment and talk about real shit. And it's like, no, man, I'm not taking you niggas serious. I just heard that conversation y'all was having 2 minutes ago.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like
true.
I can't float in between serious conversations and fuck shit. You got to choose one.
For sure. William Moloch said, "Get Tony Yayo on the back of the bus." That's crazy. That'd be nuts.
Hey, we'll have you anytime, yeah, yo.
I'll do it. And
Anytime.
quick question: have you seen the 21 Savage trailer? Did you have any thoughts on that at all?
The 21 Savage trailer.
The movie trailer with
He has a movie coming out.
with Childish Gambino in it. Do you have 5 minutes? It was 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Sure.
First of all, that image is nuts.
American Drink, bro.
He just came out with an album, by the way.
Just remember, I'm looking up at that same
gets worse.
star.
Oh, that Brit, eh?
That star
Oh,
is your
oh,
dream.
pause this, Josh.
Pause it.
Yes. Are these Black American actors playing Brits?
Yeah, I mean, but that's 21 Savage's story, apparently. It gets worse.
No. Okay, fine. That's his story. But the actors that follow me where I'm going here.
Yes.
These are Black American actors. So we got Wanda, we got Homeboy from Stranger Things in there. That's at least 2.
Yes.
All right, and then we got Donald Glover's in this movie. So that's 3.
Well,
Black
Donald-
American actors that play Brits.
Donald Glover plays
This is
older
like,
21.
we're breaking the internet with this.
Nah, Donald Glover plays older 21, so he doesn't have the British accent, apparently.
Oh, Brit.
But yes, he would be a Brit, yes.
Brit. We are breaking the mold now, baby. No longer will we have our historical Black roles played by Blacks from Britain. No. We reversing the roles, baby. That's called a reversal. 2 points.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, role reversal, baby. Now we on top.
This nigga's crazy.
And they can never take it.
That accent is nasty.
Cross my T.
See, I thought it was a rollout initially, but it has a date, apparently. So, and the date is not the album drop because the album already dropped.
Y'all used to carry me, now they
Crazy. Drewski being a gangster is crazy.
treat me like I'm God. I know you want my spot, but you don't
It
wanna
gets-
play
it
your
gets
part.
worse.
15 plenty homicides and still kept my focus. Kill you for some clout.
Get this Tyler Perry wig off this man's head. No, I really want to see this come out though. I really
I
do
done
want to
do
see this come
anything
out.
for motion.
Bro, they
We
got
can't let
Donald
no bitch
Glover
say that she
playing
the one who
21,
broke us. All
and they
familiar
got
faces at
Fresh Prince, Jabari Banks playing Metro Boomin.
Jabari Banks.
He's playing Metro Boomin.
All right, I'm about to log off.
Hold on, I'm gonna show you the last little. I think they have the. Is it on here? Okay, here we go.
Treated us like savages. That's it. That's your name. Savage 21.
21 Savage.
Yo, fam, get that fake face on
21
here off
Savage.
his face.
Yeah.
That shit fake. That glute on face on here. Get that shit on.
Oh man, that's funny.
He look like he's wearing a costume. That's crazy.
He does. This is wild. This face right here is just wild.
Nah, I would see it. I would definitely.
I want to
watch
see
So
it if
Jabari
you know
Banks,
if it's real.
if he's in Metro Boomin in this, and they need to go ask 50 if they can borrow Famous to play Drake.
Okay. All right. All right. Stream over. Stream is over now.
No, they need to get Famous to play Drake.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
You know, since they was beefing a couple of weeks ago.
No, I'm not lying. There was a date for the movie. They all think I'm lying. Anyway, the album, at the very least, the album is out. So a new 21 album for you. And I've only heard one song. I've heard Red Rum, and it was pretty sweet. So go check that out. Anyway, that's my dubs and L's. Do you have anything else you would like to discuss, sir? We've been on here for 2.5 hours.
That's it, man. I definitely appreciate everybody showing up. I was able to make an appearance this Sunday on the Dubs and L's once again. Thank you to Josh for keeping this all together for us, man. I definitely appreciate you for sure. Like that's in all seriousness, I definitely appreciate you, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to say that in front of everybody. So.
No, absolutely. Hey, if I can hold the fort down for you to come back at some point and we continue this thing of ours here, I'm gonna do it. On that note, appreciate you for stopping by as well. I will be on Twitch tomorrow if y'all want to slide through. I'm going to react to a couple videos and start this whole Red Dead Redemption 2 thing up. So make sure y'all hit the link in the description.
You playing Red Dead?
Red Dead 2, bro.
Without me?
It's a single player game. What you mean?
Crazy. Are you not even going to involve me? Are you not going to? You know what? I'm going to let you experience the first gameplay by yourself.
Well, I've heard it.
You go ahead and just experience it first.
All right. Can I play the single player? And then we can do a they got online, they got role play, they got all that shit.
I was talking about you was just gonna play it without letting me know that you was playing Red Dead 2. You just gonna sneak it onto a stream. And
I just let the people know. I let everybody know. Red Dead 2 on Twitch tomorrow.
Oh.
So join and it'll be a fun time to be had by all. What you mean?
Bet that I will be there.
Anyway, link is in the description below because I'm tired of y'all saying that the links don't work or whatever. The link is in the description. Yeah, the link is in the description, and we will be back with another live stream next week. Peace.
I did want to give Critical Mass their due. They kept going back with us on the majors thing.
Go ahead.
I knew his baby mama was white. You know that. Look, y'all, I am not arguing for the morality of Jonathan Majors. It's not important to me. It's not important to me. I don't care what kind of man he is. I don't care if he's a good person. I don't care if he even give a damn about black women. I am saying for the sake of all of our safety, me, Josh, your sons, your brother, your daddy, your uncle, your grandpa, or any other dude that's walking around here that look like me that y'all care about, you should fight that type of shit anywhere you see it, even if it is for the worst type of individual. First of all, that's consistency of morality, number one. Number two, when you can put aside someone's proclivities and still fight for their freedoms, then you telling the truth. But if it wanes, depending on whether or not you like the person, you're not really calling it straight. You're not calling balls or strikes. Not saying that that's what you're doing, but I'm saying that's where I'm coming from with it. I'm not getting duped. I don't really care about people's character flaws because I don't have much faith in their character to go into it. I never go into these situations thinking much more beyond these people, beyond their profession. If you shoot a ball, that's what I watch you for. If you throw one, that's what I watch you for. If you act, that's what I watch you for. I'm not acting. I'm not watching you to be a good dad or a good boyfriend.
Agreed.
You can't depend on any of those people for that.